specifically look. Okay, I'm going to give you an example, Val. You don't mind if I digress because we've got
You
plenty
just take your time. This is
of
fantastic.
You got me. So, and I mean this. So, and I put the onus on young guys, especially these Gen Zs and actually Alpha guys. Alpha kids now are they're turning like 16, Val. So these young guys, especially in their 20s, I will say just go look for him. Here's an example. I was always an ambitious young man, and I was 18 years old. I remember this, 18 years old. I was in the Montreal airport having dinner with my then girlfriend. And we're always, boy, Montreal, if people don't know, is a very sophisticated town. We were raised really sophisticated. I had a three-piece suit on when I was 18 years old, having dinner at the Hilton. And there were a lot of us like that. We were very just sophisticated, and I love it. The drinking age was 18. The bars were open till 3. We were being served when we were 15 years old without ID. So a very, shall we say, liberal type of town. And I was 18 years old, and I remember I was working real hard as a warehouse kid or something. I always worked hard from when I was 16 years old. And I was at one of those uh, tipping points in life, 18, where I was right in between college, thinking about whether it's high school, coming out of high school. I graduated quite well, 3.2 GPA, and going through the questions in life, existential questions, college versus career versus partying down like an 18-year-old. And I was sitting there having dinner, and across the room there was a table with probably about 6 or 8 executives. And I had told my girlfriend, excuse me for just a quick second, and I had watched them for a while and got feel these were high-end, high-running businessmen who were having full, dinner at the Hilton. And I remember walking over to him because I identified at that time who was the leader of the pack. You can always tell who's the leader of any group. And I walked straight up to him. I think he was at the head of the table, but I just walked straight up to him. And I said, hi, you appear to be the leader of this group. I kid you not, Val. I can't believe I ever shared. I don't think I shared this story with you. And
Yeah.
I said, my name's Greg Meakin. I live locally here in Dorval and just graduated high school. But I'm a little lost right now. I want some advice. What would you suggest for a young businessman to do literally like starting tomorrow if you wanted to succeed? It was like that. What would you suggest? What would you tell me? What would you tell me to do? It's great. By the way, he loved that. He couldn't believe. He's basically saying, look at this kid, right? 18. And his name was James C. Gardner. He was vice president of Westinghouse, Canada. And James C. Gardner, I really liked him. And he said, I'll tell you what to do, Greg. Go to an Ontario-based community college for business, just specifically like that. Don't spend a lot of money. Don't go do the university. Go to community college. He said this and get business. It's like an associate's that we know of. Get in business. And he said, then when you graduate, here's my card. Call me. You have a position with Westinghouse. And I can't believe I shared that story. And it turns out, Val, sad. It's almost the story of my life, though. I kid you not. I called him. I remember in my 20s, maybe my early 20s. He had died. He passed on. So it was one of those, not a sad story, but the net of that is look for mentors, look for teachers, save yourself some time. They can save you 10 or 20 years of wasted time, but also the right mentors, the right teachers. And so to this day, I am mentored to like dozens of people, all age groups. And I have at least a half dozen, maybe more mentors of mine, most of them now, a lot of them in their 80s and 90s. So just a good practice to get into. And I think you'll hear more and more of this as these next few years go on. This is something like Charlie Kirk would love. Because honestly, the learning that you get not only from connecting with people, but just the resources we have available to us now. You can learn anything you want, and it doesn't have to be from a professor.